Good afternoon, sir. My name is Maria Edresa J. Socorri, and my topic for today is all about gravity in and friction. First, I will describe and explain the gravity and friction, and also I will tackle about the different types of friction. So, the objectives for today's afternoon is to identify the gravity and friction. Also, know the importance of gravity and friction. And last, to know the difference of gravity and friction. Gravity and friction is always used in our daily life, but we didn't know because we don't have a knowledge about it. This kind of gravity and friction is important, especially when you are working. This will help us to be done in job. We need to know and have knowledge about gravity and friction to be used it proper and wisely, so we can show our knowledge to the other people who don't know it. So first, I will tackle the meaning of gravity. Gravity or gravitation is a natural phenomenon by which all things with mass or energy, including planets, stars, galaxies, and even light, are brought to one another. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga bagay na mabibigat o like people, like people or mga bagay na may bigat ay matatawag nating gravity. Also, mass and energy, including the light. So, ang kapag gumagana ang ilaw dahil yun sa energy and electric. So, kapag hindi umilaw or walang energy ang isang current ay hindi matatawag na gravity. So, another definition is, on Earth, gravity gives weight to physical objects, and the moon causes the ocean tides. And also, on Earth, all bodies have a weight or downward force of gravity proportional to their mass, which mass exerts on them. So, ibig sabihin, sa ating mundo, lahat ng mga bagay or including tayong mga tao ay meron tayong gravity. Like for example, kapag tayong mga tao ay naglalakad or tumalon man sa isang swimming pool or a falls, merong gravity kasi may possibility na tayo madapa or mahulog sa isang swimming pool because we have gravity. So, ibig sabihin, sa labas ng ating mundo or outside world ay walang gravity. Kasi kapag lumabas tayo or include like for example astronaut, walang gravity sa labas ng Earth. Kasi lahat kapag pumunta ka doon, posibleng hindi ka makagalaw ng maayos dahil lumulutang. Lumulutang tayo sa labas ng outside world dahil walang gravity na nabubuo doon. Next is, gravity is measured by the acceleration that it gives to freely falling objects. Sabihin, ang gravity ay measured din sa pamamagitan ng acceleration because kapag ang isang bagay ay nahulog kagaya ng paghawak natin ng baso. Kapag ang baso ay nahulog, meron yung acceleration and also gravity kasi nalaglag yung baso dahil sa hindi mo paghawak ng maigi doon. So next is, So para mas maintindihan nyo ang gravity, I give some examples of gravity. First, the force that holds the gases in the cell. Second, the force that causes a ball throw in the air to come down again. Ibig sabihin, so, kapag ang isang bola ay binato mo at yung pagbato mo ay meron yung force. At kapag yung nagbato ka na ay nalaglag or nahulog ito ulit, tinatawag yung force of gravity. Dahil nung nagbato ka ay nalaglag ito ulit. So next, the force that causes a car to coast downhill even when you are not stepping on the gas. So ibig sabihin, kapag ang isang kotse ay bumaba, kahit hindi mo naman tinatapakan yung so ibig sabihin, kapag ang isang kotse ay nag-coast downhill habang hindi mo tinatapakan ang gas, ibig sabihin yun, it has force of gravity. So next, the force that causes a glass or jar to fall to the floor. So, kapag ang isang baso ay nahulog mo at nalaglag ito sa sahig, ibig sabihin, it has a force of gravity dahil hindi mo nahawakan ng maigi at nalaglag ang baso sa sahig. So next, I will tackle the meaning of friction. Friction is the resistance of motion when one object rubs against another. Anytime two objects rubs against each other, they cause friction. Ibig sabihin, kapag nagkabungguan or nagkasalubungan ang dalawang bagay, nagkukos ito ng friction. And also, kapag nagkasalubong ang force and motion, they can also cause friction. Next, friction also works against the motion and acts in the opposite direction. When one object is sliding on another, it starts to slow down due to friction. Ibig sabihin, kapag ang friction nag-works against motion, ang friction ay nasa opposite direction nito. So, in another side, force or motion against friction, and the friction is opposite direction. Next, for example, if an object is sliding on another side, they have a possibility na mag-slow down ito because of friction. Like for example, tayong tao. Kapag naglalakad tayo to another place, may possibility na huminto or minsan na natatalisod because of friction. Next, I will tackle also the types of friction. First types of friction is static friction. Acts on subjects when they are resting on a surface. Example, if you are hiking in the woods, there is a static friction between your shoes and trail each time you put down your foot. Ibig sabihin, when we are walking or hiking, may connection between our shoes or slippers dun sa tinatapakan natin. Dahil yung tinatapakan natin mismo, yung magpahinto sa atin because of the friction. Example, when we are walking, Minsan kapag naglalakad tayo ay napapahinto tayo because minsan napapagod yung mga paa natin. So, that trail and your shoes or slippers slow down because of our of friction. Ibig sabihin kasi ng static friction acts on subjects when they are resting on a surface. So, bago tayo pumunta sa pangalawang types of friction, I will give some important matter about the definition of friction. Friction, force that resists the sliding or rolling of one solid object over another. Frictional forces, such as the traction needed to walk without slipping, may be beneficial, but they also present a great measure of opposition to motion. Also, the major cause of friction between metals appears to be the forces of attraction, known as adhesion, between the contact regions of the surfaces, which are always microscopically irregular. Friction arises from sharing these welded junctions and from the action of the irregularities of the harder surface flowing across the softer surface. So, another example of static friction is when you pushing a wall or a box. If you have Kapag tumulak tayo ng isang wall or box, they have force and also motion. Dahil kapag tumulak tayo at kapag nahinto o dahang-dahang huminto ang isang box, ibig sabihin mayroong itong friction. So next, the second types of friction is sliding friction that acts on subjects when they are sliding over a surface. Sliding friction can be useful. Example, when you write with a pencil, the pencil lead slides easily over the paper. Example of this is, or, ibig sabihin ng sliding friction is when you slide an object and if you slide an object and stop slowly so it has friction. Right, for example, this, kapag nagsusulat tayo gamit ang lapis sa papel, nagsaslide siya at nag-guide upang makasulat tayo. At kapag huminto ito, so it has friction. Also, another example is when we are sliding in a playground. So next is rolling friction that acts on objects when they are rolling over a surface. This explains why most forms of ground transportation use wheels, including bicycles, four-wheelers, roller skates, scooters, and skateboards. This means lahat ng may mga mayroong gulong or naro-roll, ibig sabihin itas or they called rolling friction. So, examples of this is movements of car tires on a roadway and also a ball rolling. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ang isang kotse or a ball ay gumugulong, it has friction because of the slowly rolling it. And also kapag so dahil sa rolling friction, they have or we have a transportation use in our daily life like wheels, including bicycles, na mayroong na mga sasakyan or mga other transportation upang mas mapadali tayong makapunta sa isang place. So next is fluid friction. That acts on objects that are moving through a fluid. A fluid is a substance that can flow and take the shape of its container. Fluids include liquids and gases. Example, if you ever tried to push your open hand through the water in a tub or pool, that you've experienced fluid friction. So it is easy. If you it is easy dahil kapag ang objects or kind of matter, kapag minove natin through a fluid, so it's called fluid friction. Like for example, kapag na-try na nating maligo or tinry natin yung ating kamay, in-open hand natin through the water and you move it or galaw mo siya sa tubig. So it's called friction. So this is my report. I hope you have you get a learning from me, even I cannot proper deliver it. So I hope you understand my topic and ask me if you not clearly understand my topic. So thank you and goodbye. So before I end this topics, I will show you the types of friction. Like for I will natakal ko na to kanina, so I will show you the picture. First is static friction. It has force and motion. So kapag pinush natin ng isang box, it has friction upang tumigil ang isang bagay. Also, in sliding friction, it has force kapag nag-slide na siya at sa static friction, kapag tumigil tayo, ay titigil din ang box. But in sliding friction, kapag may na-slide tayo, posibleng matagal ang pag-stop nito. So, it has friction. Rolling friction, mas matagal itong it has force at mas matagal itong matigil kasi